dobbiamo vivere come se fosse certo che tutto il nostro esistere si gioca su un momento fondamentale, la scelta. Un negoziatore è un avvocato, un negoziatore è impegnato a cercare una realizzazione che potremmo quasi dire impossibile, la realizzazione della pace in un territorio difficile. Signori, a voi Gilead Sher.
Shalom e buongiorno a tutti. I wish I could stand here today and tell you that I hold the key to Middle East peace. I would love to fly out here from a peaceful land full of promise and hope. I'm not. I am standing here disillusioned. I know that neither military power in itself nor talks alone can put an end to an intractable bloody conflict like ours. But on the other hand, I am confident that the Israeli-Palestinian conflict will eventually come to an end. All conflicts are created by men and should be resolved by men alone. Our case is not different. I will humbly share with you my motivation to making it happen during my lifetime. I am a secular person. However, I came across a sentence in the Jewish prayer book while preparing for my son Carmel's bar mitzvah. It is a modern prayer, written only 60 years ago, for the well-being of the state, and it reads, "Establish peace in the land and everlasting joy for its inhabitants." Then, too, there was no peace. But the phrase carries with it throughout the years the hope that one day, the situation would change. And it will indeed, but only if our mindsets get collectively ready for the transition to peace. Only if the clarity of the joint interests become common in a way that I will discuss in a few minutes. The peace process seems inseparable from bloodshed. When dialogue is going on, it is always intertwined with misery and suffering and mourning. Leaders and negotiators operate under tremendous pressure. In such an environment of crisis, you've got to have a compass that leads the way for you directly to your goal. And still, heading towards your goal, the ultimate end of conflict, your compass needle shakes, and you face frustration and despair. Still, sometimes you fall face down on the earth, time and time again, while holding to your compass. Well, get up, brush off the dust, stabilize the compass, and start off your journey again. Interestingly, in Hebrew, compass, matzpen, and conscience, matzpun, come from the very same linguistic roots. My personal biography reflects generations of Israeli and Jewish heritage, from the expulsion from Spain 500 years ago, throughout the Holocaust and the establishment of the state. I was born a few years later in a kibbutz in northern Israel under the threats of Syrian cannons. I had a very happy childhood in Jerusalem, in Paris, elsewhere. Later, I have fought in the Yom Kippur War in 1973 and lost dozens of comrades. Later, I became an officer. The agony of war and the suffering of the bereaved were my experiences as a young man. I later fell in love and married an Israeli girl, artist and theater designer, who gave birth to my 2 sons and 2 daughters. Studying law at the Hebrew University, I started simultaneously a radio career as a journalist, and I have also been practicing and instructing karate for more than 30 years now. And finally, please allow me to share with you a project that I am enthusiastically involved in with Patrizio Paoletti. We have been exploring the idea of creating a hub for dialogue and dispute resolution in Jerusalem. Once completed, it will prepare people to take responsibility on their own lives, while respecting the other people's needs and addressing their own fears. We will encourage expanding to the vast public an exchange of ideas and opinions. Negotiation, as a life skill, will be integrated into educational curricula, and people will interactively participate in negotiations, communal, national negotiations, debating issues in the open network TV and discussions.
Da anni condividiamo questa visione utopica, speriamo di no, sulla pace nei territori, che ci ha proposto una parola chiave. Ogni negoziatore sa che prima di poter parlare deve saper ascoltare. Il segreto di una negoziazione è nell'ascolto. L'ascolto non solo delle parole degli altri, l'ascolto dello stato degli altri, dell'emozione degli altri, del luogo da cui le loro istanze nascono, provengono, e del perché queste istanze sono così forti, sono così centrali nella vita di ogni individuo. Soltanto rispondendo in maniera chiara alle istanze che ognuno di noi porta dentro di sé, sarà possibile risolvere quei conflitti che noi stessi abbiamo creato. Gilead infatti ci trasferisce un sapere straordinario. Sono gli uomini a creare i conflitti e quindi soltanto gli uomini hanno la possibilità di risolverli davvero definitivamente.